Our adventure to the iconic Mount Fitz Roy began in Bariloche, far from the typical tourist route. While most travelers would take a short bus ride from El Calafate to El Chaltén, we decided to embrace the wild unknown and drove the legendary Route 40 most of the way. This road is a journey in itself. Vast mountain ranges in the horizon, stretches of pristine wilderness and miles of unpredictable terrain. One moment the road is smooth and inviting, and the next it's bone-rattling test of endurance. Along the way we stumbled upon Cueva de los Manas, an ancient site filled with molded handprints and hunting scenes painted over 9,000 years ago. Those people once hunted the guanacos that inhabited the surrounding valleys, and this is what depicted on the cave walls. These animals are now tragically more often hunted by the barbed wire fences lining the roads here. But the highlight of this prelude to Fitz Roy was a stop at the mesmerizing marble caves. To get there, we even had to detour through a neighboring Chile, which was the wildest international border crossing we had to use so far. With their turquoise waters and surreal formations, marble caves were so breathtaking that we even decided they deserved their own video. As we neared El Chaltén, the unmistakable silhouette of Fitz Roy loomed in the distance. Even from miles away, it was a sight to behold, like a beacon calling us towards adventure. After arriving in a quiet mountain town and settling into a cozy hotel, we found a charming little restaurant with live music. The warm food and the melodies were the perfect prelude to the epic journey ahead. Good morning, guys. It's 6:30 in the morning and we are going to one of the most iconic hikes in this area, in overall Patagonia area. It's called Laguna de los Tres, and it's 13.5 mile hike, back and forth I expect, right? Yeah, I think it's back and forth, 13.5 miles. It should be really an awesome hike. We stepped onto the trail with the wind whipped around us, cold and relentless. For a moment, we even considered turning back, but the adventure demanded perseverance here.
Let's go.
Difficulty high. Oh yeah, we know that. It says 10 hours. As we ascend, the sun began to rise. The air grew warmer, or maybe it was just the sheer effort of the climb that thawed us out. At one point, I was so hot from the constant ascent that I had to strip off a few layers, and my wife joked that I looked like an onion peeling myself down layer by layer. The scenery was already stunning. Mountains bathed in the morning light, rivers snaking through the valleys, and bridges that felt like gateways to another world. Somewhere along the trail, I felt an annoying pain in my boot. I stopped to check it out, half convinced a venomous insect had hitched a ride, but it turns out it was just a tiny rock. Of course, my wife couldn't resist making fun of dramatic overreaction.
Because it's not coming out, but I can feel it.
It's bad. Это контент.
Still in the woods, but soon we'll see Fitz Roy.
Rain starts. I guess it's finally time for me to get my rain.
Sun's starting to come out. It is so nice right now. I hope it's gonna stay that way this whole day.
Запомните, а то забудете.
Yeah,
This one.
look at this. Mount Fitz Roy. We'll finally see it. It's quite a popular trail, as you can see. There's a lot of people going back and forth, despite it's not being the high season yet. But look at this majestic Fitz Roy. Yeah, as long as this clouds will clear up, it will be just fantastic view.
500 еще надо.
Okay, so we've been hiking for 3 hours. About another hour left, maybe an hour and a half. But the rain started over there, and we feel a little bit of rain coming down on us, but nothing too bad at this point, at least. When we'll get up higher, I hope it's not gonna be rainy, but we have kielbasa to save our lives. Alright guys, I'm gonna show you something which is called najopnik. Najopnik is a device that you carry on your back so that you're always able to sit down where it is otherwise impossible. So you just take najopnik and you slide it down your ass, and then you're able to sit like that. This is what the device is called, and this is what it looks like. It's actually pretty cool little device. Oh, right there. Last time I saw this device back in Russia, and as you can see, even here in Argentina, you can encounter something like this. It's quite cool, actually. Typically, you're wearing a najopnik somewhere where you expect to sit down a lot, and on this hike, obviously, we are walking most of the time, so najopnik is not that necessary. But I guess some people still use it because it's practically weightless, and it's easy to take with you, even if you don't need it. Meanwhile, we're getting closer to this glacier. And going back into the woods.
It's getting hard.
Oh yeah. It's not gonna get easier. As we approached the final stretch, the trail grew steeper and more demanding. Every step burned, but the promise of Fitz Roy kept us going. Along the way, we passed a hilarious scene: an older woman halfway up the incline yelling to her husband, "Is it even worth it to go up there?" The exasperation and the collective laughter of nearby hikers added a much-needed dose of humor to the grueling ascent. Fitz Roy, we're coming. We almost made it. Just a couple more steps. Look at that. Isn't this amazing? And then there it was, the glacial lake and the towering majesty of Mount Fitz Roy. Words can't capture it, and even the video might not do its justice. It was like stepping into a painting. the jagged peaks rising out of the turquoise waters of the glacial lake. We stood in awe, overwhelmed by the beauty of it all. My wife looked at me and said, "Why would anyone hike anywhere else after this?" And I couldn't disagree, as it seemed like the ultimate hike you can do.
This is adorable. You might cut it for
The way back was much better. Gravity became our best friend, pulling us downhill with ease. All we had to resist was the strong wind and an irrational desire to turn around and look back at the mountain. Countless bridge crossings later, and we were back in El Chaltén, where we toasted to the adventure of a lifetime. Fitz Roy had tested us, thrilled us, and rewarded us with the memories we'd never forget. Fitz Roy, it's not just a hike, it's a story, an experience, a journey that stays with you long after the trail ends. So if you ever find yourself in Patagonia, do yourself a favor. Take it the hard way. It's worth every bump, every breathless moment, and every step.